Good day. So for this lesson video, what we are going to discuss and what we are going to learn is all about adding and subtracting radicals. How do we add or subtract radicals? Okay, so before we'll be able to learn how to add and subtract radicals, let us first understand and let us first identify what like radicals are. Ano nga ba itong like radicals? When can we consider that the two or more radicals are like or similar? Okay, so square root expressions with the same radicand are examples of like radicals. So for us to be able to consider that the two radicals are like radicals, we should see to it that they have the same radicand. And also, they should have the same indices. Okay, so yung index ng first radical at yung index ng second radical should be the same. Okay, so let's take a look at this example. We have here 2 square root of 5 and 4 square root of 5. These two radicals are considered to be like radicals because first and foremost, they have the same indices. Yung index ng square root of 5 here is 2, although hindi na natin siya nakikita because it is no longer needed to be written when the index is 2. And also, the index of square root of 5 here is also 2. So the two indices are the same, and also the radicand, which is 5 and 5, are also the same. So therefore, even if 2 and 4 are not the same, still we can consider these radicals to be like radicals because their radicand and their indices are the same. Okay, so another example we have here is 6 square root of x and negative 2 square root of x. Again, their indices are the same. The index here is 2 and the index also here is 2. While their radicands are also the same, they both have x to be their radicand. So therefore, 6 square root of x and negative 2 square root of x are considered to be like radicals. And also, 3 square root of 40 and square root of 40 are considered to be like radicals even though square root of 40 doesn't have a numerical coefficient. Unlike dito, meron siyang 3, pero still we can consider them to be like radicals because their indices or their index are the same. Yung index dito is 2 and yung index din dito is also 2. And also, their radicand 40 and 40 are the same. Okay, so samantala, itong mga nasa baba naman, we can consider this one unlike radicals. So, hindi sila similar. Siyempre, yung 2 is a whole number. Yung negative square root of 15 naman is a radical. 6 square root of x and the square root of 6x are not like radicals because the radicand here is x and the radicand here is 6x. And also, 3 square root of 2 and 2 square root of 3 are unlike radicals because the radicand here is 2 while the radicand here is 3. So, why do we need to learn or why do we need to know how to identify like radicals? Okay? So, mahalaga na alam natin kung ano yung like radicals because we can only combine radicals that are considered to be like radicals. Meaning, we can only add and subtract like radicals. We cannot subtract and we cannot add unlike radicals. Only those like radicals. Okay? Okay, so let's have an example here. So we have here 2 square root of 5 and 4 square root of 5. Obviously, these are like radicals because their radicands are the same. Yung radicand dito is 5. Yung radicand din dito is 5. The index here, although it is not written anymore, alam natin na yung index dyan ay 2. Dito rin, yung index din dito ay 2. So, obviously, they are like radicals. So, ngayon, how will we be able to combine this? How will we be able to add this? We just need to add 2 and 4. Etong 2 dito, at saka yung 4 dito, we need to add them 2 plus 4, and then copy the common radicals, which is square root of 5. So, combining this one, 2 plus 4, that would be equal to 6. So, the final answer here is 6 square root of 5. Okay po? So, again, ang ipa-plus lang po natin, ang i-add lang po natin dito is yung 2 and 4. So, we have 2 plus 4, that is 6. And just copy the common radicals, which is square root of 5. Okay po? Okay, another example we have here is 6 square root of x minus 2 square root of x. Again, we just need to combine 6 minus 2. Isa-subtract lang natin since the operation is subtraction. We have 6 minus 2, that would be equal to 4. And then copy the common radical, which is square root of x. So, the final answer here is 4 square root of x. Okay, ganun lang po siya ka-simple. Notice that you can combine like radicals by adding or subtracting the numbers multiplied by the radical and keeping the radical the same. Ibig sabihin, ini-emphasize niya lang dito na we can only combine these numbers, 6 and 2, 2 and 4. And just copy the common radical, which is 5 or square root of 5 or square root of 6. Okay, so let's have another example here. So for letter A, we have 9 square root of 3 minus 4 square root of 3. Okay, so obviously, 9 square root of 3 and 4 square root of 3 are like radicals because they have a common radicand, which is 3. And also, they have the same indices. Parehas yung index nila, which is 2. Kasi parehas silang square root. So, all we need to do here is just combine 9 minus 4. Isa-subtract lang natin siya and then copy the common radical, which is the square root of 3. Okay. Yan po. So, these are the like radicals, square root of 3 and square root of 3. And then, combine natin yung 9 minus 4. 9 minus 4 is equal to 5. And then, copy the common radical, which is square root of 3. Okay, so let's have another example. For letter B, we have 6 square root of x plus 8 square root of y. Okay, so as we can see here, the terms are unlike radicals. Why are they unlike radicals? Because the radicand here is x, while the radicand here is y. So therefore, since they are unlike radicals, we cannot combine them. Sabi dito, the terms are unlike radicals, so do not combine. So, ganun lang siya. We cannot combine two radicals that are unlike. Okay, so, yung sagot dyan ay yun pa rin. 6 square root of x plus 8 square root of y. Okay, so let's have another example here. Letter C, we have square root of m minus 7 square root of n. Okay, so let us first identify if the terms are like radicals. Okay, so we have the radicands are m, parehas silang m, and the index here is 2 since square root siya. Also, the index here is 2, so therefore they are like radicals. Okay po? And take note dito po, square root of m, although we do not see any number here, it is understood to have 1. So, kung dito merong 7, dito naman merong 1. Just like that. Okay po? So, just combine 1 minus 7 and copy the common radical, which is square root of m. Okay, so 1 minus 7, that would be negative 6. Again, 1 minus 7 is equal to negative 6. And copy the common radical, which is the square root of m. Okay, so how about for letter D? 2 square root of xy plus 2 square root of y plus 9 square root of xy. Kung mapapansin natin dito, there are 3 terms. At yung 3 terms na yon, hindi lahat magkakaparehas. Hindi lahat sila ay like radicals. So in this case, we need to identify which of these terms are like radicals. Okay, as you can see here, 2 square root of xy and 9 square root of xy are like radicals because they have a common radicand and index, while 2 square root of y is different from the two of them. So in this case, what we need to do is just combine the two terms which are like radicals, meaning yung 2 square root of xy at saka yung 9 square root of xy, yun lang po ang i-combine natin. Okay, paano yun? 2 plus 9, that is 11. And then copy the common radical, which is square root of xy. Ito po siya. And then since we already have combined these two terms, all we need to do is just bring down 2 square root of y here. So our final answer here is 11 square root of xy plus 2 square root of y, because we cannot combine these two terms anymore because they are unlike radicals. Okay, so this is going to be the final answer. Okay, so sometimes radicals do not appear to be like until they are simplified. So in this case, all we need to do is to simplify all the radicals in an expression before trying to identify whether they are like or unlike. Okay? Not like the previous examples na yung mga example natin kanina, ay obviously we can easily identify whether those radicals are like or unlike. Pero there are cases wherein the radicals needs to be simplified first before we'll be able to identify whether they are like or unlike. And for us to understand this further, let us have an example. Okay, so we have here square root of 45 minus square root of 20. Sa unang tingin, masasabi natin that the two radicals are not the same. They are unlike. But if we try to simplify them, say for example, if we simplify the square root of 45 and we also simplify the square root of 20 by applying our knowledge about simplifying radical expressions. So let's do it. Okay, first we need to factor the radicands using perfect squares. Ibig sabihin, yung 45 at saka yung 20, ipa-factor out natin sila in such a way that one factor is perfect and the other factor is not. Okay, so we have the square root of 45 ay para din siyang 9 times 5. Bakit 9 times 5? Because 9 times 5 is equal to 45. And take note that 9 is a perfect square and 5 is not. Okay. While 20, the factors of 20 are 4 and 5. Because if we multiply 4 times 5, that would be equal to 20. And take note, 4 is a perfect square while 5 is not. So remember that our goal here is to prove or to see to it that these two terms or these two radicals are really like or unlike. So in this case, we have factored them out into 9 times 5 and 4 times 5. So the next thing that we need to do is the product property of square root. Ibig sabihin, pwede natin silang paghiwalayin. Yung square root of 9 times 5, pwede natin silang pag-isahin. I mean, paghiwalayin. Just like the square root of 9 times square root of 5. Ganun din, yung 4 times 5, pwede rin natin silang paghiwalayin. Katulad nito. Ayan po. Square root of 9 times square root of 5 ay eto po yun. Ito naman, square root of 4 and square root of 5, ito naman po yan. Okay, so let us now extract and simplify this. The square root of 9 is 3, while the square root of 4 is 2. That's why we have 3 here and 2 here. Okay, so in this case, we can say that the two radicals now are like radicals. They are similar because their radicands now are the same. Both of them have a radicand of 5 and the indices are also the same. Yung index dito is 2 at yung index naman dito is 2. So in this case, since they are like radicals, we can now combine them by simply subtracting 2 from 3. So we have 3 minus 2, that is equal to 1, and then copy the common radical, which is square root of 5. Take note, 3 minus 2 is 1, so dapat meron pa siyang 1 dyan, but we know for a fact that any number multiplied by 1 is the number itself, meaning 1 is no longer needed to be written. Okay, so let's have another example. This is going to be our last example in addition and subtraction of radical expression. So we have here 9 square root of 75 plus 2 square root of 50. So what will we do first? First, we need to factor the radicands using the perfect squares. So yung 75 at saka yung 50, we need to factor them out in such a way that one factor is perfect and the other is not. Okay, katulad nito, yung 75 can be factored out as 3 times 25, while yung 50 can be factored out as 2 times 25. Okay po? Next, by using the product property of square root, pwede nating paghiwalayin yung 3 at saka 25. Ganun din yung 2 at saka yung 25. So we have square root of 3, square root of 25, plus 2, square root of 2, square root of 25. Okay, and then simplify. So we'll have, what is the square root of 5? The square root of 25 rather. The square root of 25 is 5. Ito po yun. And then the square root of 25 here is also 5. Ito naman po yun. Okay, uulitin ko. Just bring down 9. Extract the square root of 25 to be 5. Dito naman, bring down 2. The square root of 25 is 5. And then, yung square root of 3 at saka yung square root of 2, i-bring down lang din natin because we cannot extract them. And then, multiply 9 times 5, that would be 45. And 3 times 2 is 10. So, we have 9 times 5 is 45, 2 times 5 is 10. Take note, we have here square root of 3, and here we have square root of 2. By simply looking at these two terms, or by simply looking at the two radicals, we can say that they are unlike radicals. So since they are unlike radicals, we cannot combine them anymore. Okay? So, in addition and subtraction of radicals, all we need to do first is to prove or to identify that the two radicals are like radicals. Paano natin malalaman na they are like radicals? If the index or the indices are the same and the radicands are also the same. So, ganun lang po yung rule in addition and subtraction. Okay, so I guess that would be all for today. Again, God bless and good day.